You walk into the airport thinking you know how this place works. Tickets, lines, boarding passes, the familiar rhythm of travel, a controlled chaos we've all learned to accept. But what if I told you that every sign, every smile, and every sound in this building is part of a much bigger system, one designed to control how you move, how you spend, and even how you feel before you ever reach your gate? Behind the glossy floors and polite voices, there's a silent choreography playing out, one that decides who gets upgraded, who gets flagged, and who pays more for the same experience. It's not random, it's engineered. The airport isn't just a transit hub anymore. It's a behavioral laboratory, perfected through years of observation, data, and subtle manipulation. Lighting softens after security to calm you. Shops curve in long arcs, so you walk slower, spend longer, and buy more. Even the scent pumped through terminals is calibrated to make you feel safe and in control. But here's the truth most travelers never see. This calm, this order, it's not for your comfort, it's for compliance. Every camera, every announcement, every "please stand behind the yellow line" is part of a playbook that quietly manages millions of people every single day. And once you start to see the moves, you'll realize you were never just a passenger. You were part of the system. Because in 2025, airports don't just move people. They test them. They train them. And the moment you understand that, you'll never walk through one the same way again. Secret 1. The exit row trick airlines. Hope you never learn it always starts with a seat, a simple number printed on a boarding pass. Row 14, seat A. But that little square of space, that patch of fabric and air, can be the difference between a miserable flight and a surprisingly comfortable one. The secret lies in the exit row. You've probably noticed it. Those seats with extra legroom. The kind travelers glance at longingly as they shuffle past. For years, airlines called them safety positions. Now they call them premium experiences. And that word, my premium, is where the game begins. American Airlines charges up to $95 for those few inches of space. Delta, up to $165 for the same recycled air you were already breathing. It's brilliant business, a textbook case of turning necessity into profit. But what most travelers don't know is that this little pocket of comfort isn't always bought. Sometimes it's quietly granted. I learned this years ago from a flight attendant who'd been flying since the 90s. She said, "We don't fill those seats randomly. We look for people who seem calm, cooperative, and confident." That was the clue. It wasn't about money, it was about perception, so I tested it. At check-in, instead of demanding an upgrade, I just smiled. Relaxed shoulders, steady tone. I'd say something like, "Hey, if you still need someone responsible for the exit row, I'm your guy. I'll take that duty with honor." Half the time it worked, because the truth is, crew members don't want to argue. They want passengers who make their job easier. Someone who looks like they'll listen in an emergency, not panic. When the clock's ticking and they need to fill those spots fast, they don't pick the loudest or the richest. They pick the safest bet. And if that fails, there's another trick, one straight out of behavioral psychology. When you ask for anything, add the word "because." Could I switch to the exit row because my legs are long? It doesn't matter if your reason is small. The word itself makes people more likely to agree. Studies show it triggers automatic compliance. Humans love a reason, even a bad one. Still, sometimes the system wins. The seat is sold. The algorithm says no. But here's what most travelers never realize. You can still play the game. Sit near the exit row. Not in it, near it. Because when boarding ends, the crew does a final scan. If someone in that row doesn't fit safety criteria, too young, too anxious, too frail, they have to replace them. And guess who's already sitting within reach? You, the calm, aware traveler who made their job easier. That's not manipulation. That's reading the system. Every rule in aviation has flexibility hidden inside it. Every seat map has margins. Most passengers never see them because they follow instructions like clockwork. But once you learn where the human decision still exists, you find your leverage point. It's the same rule that runs through every airport trick you'll ever hear. Systems control those who stop thinking. They reward those who stay aware. So next time you're checking in, forget the algorithms and elite tiers, forget the points and the perks. Remember that somewhere in that terminal, there's a human still making a decision. Show up calm, speak clearly, ask smart, because in a world run by automation, real advantage belongs to the ones who remember how to act human. That's not luck, that's awareness. Secret 2, how TSA reads your body without you realizing it. At the security line, everyone's focused on the same ritual. Shoes off, laptop out, liquids in a plastic bag. You shuffle forward, eyes half awake, brain on autopilot. But while you're scanning for your bin, someone else is scanning you. Not your bag, not your ID. You. The Transportation Security Administration calls it behavioral observation. To most travelers, it looks like routine. To them, it's surveillance. Subtle, psychological, and often invisible. For years, TSA used a system called SPOT, screening passengers by observation techniques. It sounded advanced, almost scientific. Agents were trained to detect micro-expressions, tension in the jaw, sudden blinking, fidgeting fingers, a glance that lasts half a second too long. To them, each movement meant something. A yawn could suggest stress. Sweat might mean guilt. Silence could be defiance. But here's the twist. There's no real science behind it. The Government Accountability Office tore the program apart. They found zero statistical proof that body cues can predict intent. No correlation, no pattern, just human bias wrapped in technical language. Still, the training continued. New names, new handbooks, same logic. Because SPOT wasn't about accuracy, it was about control. The feeling that someone's always watching and that maybe, just maybe, they can see inside your mind. And that fear works better than any scanner ever could. Imagine you're standing there, barefoot, belt in hand, surrounded by strangers. Every move feels amplified. You start overthinking. Don't smile too much. Don't look suspicious. Don't look too calm either. And in that overthinking, you make the very mistakes they're trained to notice. It's a loop, a psychological trap disguised as security. Here's what they don't record: race, ethnicity, personal bias. When an agent decides you look nervous, it doesn't go into a database. It vanishes, untraceable, which means the system can't be audited. It can't even prove its own fairness. And yet billions of dollars keep flowing into it. Why? Because the illusion of safety sells better than safety itself. But there's a way through it, not by faking calmness, but by practicing it. Your body speaks before you do. When you fight to look innocent, your breathing betrays you. Your posture stiffens. Your eyes dart. The system feeds on that tension. The trick is counterintuitive. Stop performing. Let your movements be slow, economical, unforced. Keep your eyes steady but relaxed, as if you've done this 1,000 times. Polite, brief, neutral. You're not hiding anything, and you're not proving anything. You're just existing. Because here's the truth. TSA can't read your mind, but they can misread your nerves. The more natural you are, the less data they have to interpret. And when they can't interpret, the system loses its edge. It's strange, isn't it? That the best defense against behavioral surveillance isn't deception, it's authenticity. That's the paradox of the modern airport. It studies human behavior, but it doesn't understand humanity. So the next time you're standing barefoot under fluorescent light, remember this. They're not testing your luggage. They're testing your composure. And the calmest person in the room isn't the one with nothing to hide. It's the one who refuses to play the game. Secret 3, the gate agent surveillance game. You think the real battle starts when boarding begins, but long before that first beep of the scanner, someone's already been watching. Gate agents aren't just checking papers. They're scanning faces, quietly, methodically, like radar. It starts the moment you sit down near the gate. You pull out your phone, maybe take a sip of coffee. You think you're invisible in the crowd, just another traveler waiting for boarding group 3. But across the counter, someone's eyes flick up and down every few seconds, pretending to type, pretending not to notice. They notice everything. This is the surveillance game. And most people never realize they're playing. Every airport runs on a single equation. Time equals money. Boarding delays mean fuel wasted, schedules ruined, profit lost. So agents are trained to anticipate friction before it happens, to spot problems before the line even forms. And you, with that slightly oversized roller bag or puffy backpack, your friction. Watch closely next time. The agent's gaze lingers on certain passengers longer than others. A silent mental bookmark. Too big, too bulky. Watch this one. When the boarding call finally echoes through the terminal, that decision's already made. You step forward, ticket in hand, unaware you've been pre-selected. And just as you smile at the scanner, they say it. "Sir, that bag looks a little large. We'll need to check it." You think it's random. It's not. They marked you 10 minutes ago. That's how efficient the system is. They neutralize resistance before it even reaches the door. And here's the part airlines don't advertise. There's psychology in the props. Black bags blend into the background. They don't catch light. They don't scream for attention. Bright colors, patterns, textures, they act like flares. So do metal zippers that shine under LED gates. It's not about hiding, it's about not inviting. Then there's body language. If your bag's upright in front of you, it looks like defiance. If it's beside your leg or under your arm, it looks compliant. Small details, big results. The boarding area is designed like a funnel, narrow enough that once you're flagged, there's nowhere to go. No time to repack, no chance to negotiate. Just a quiet, polite charge of $60 and a sticker slapped on your bag. Efficiency disguised as kindness. But here's where awareness flips the script. Blend in early, sit where you're not in direct line of sight, keep your bag low, non-reflective, quiet, and above all, move with calm precision. Agents are subconsciously drawn to tension. They mirror the energy they sense. If you look rushed, you'll be treated as a problem to fix. If you look in control, you'll be treated as part of the flow. It's a strange paradox. In an airport full of cameras, the most invisible person is the one who behaves like they belong. Because here's the truth about this whole surveillance game. It's not about punishment, it's about prediction. And once you understand what they're predicting, you can make yourself unpredictable. The next time you're waiting to board, remember this. You were being watched long before you stood in line. And the people who know that, they never get stopped. Secret 4. The hidden commission trap that makes gate agents stricter than ever. Most travelers think gate agents enforce baggage rules because of policy. They don't. They do it because of profit. Behind that polite smile and corporate lanyard lies a tiny system of incentives, one that quietly turns rule enforcement into personal income. It's called commission pay, and it's changing how airports work. Budget airlines like Spirit, Frontier, and even some major carriers have introduced micro-bonuses. Every time a gate agent flags an oversized personal item, they earn an extra $5 to $10. Pocket change, right? But multiply that by dozens of passengers a day, hundreds of flights a month, and suddenly the math gets serious. It's not customer service anymore. It's performance sales. You've seen the videos, travelers arguing at the gate, bags squeezed into metal frames, tape measures coming out like weapons. Those aren't accidents. They're incentives in action. Once the boarding clock starts, every minute matters. If you argue, you delay the line. And the longer you delay, the easier it is for the airline to justify stricter enforcement next time. The system learns, it adjusts. It rewards confrontation because confrontation brings compliance and profit. I once watched a woman slide her backpack neatly into the sizing bin. It fit perfectly. Still, the agent said, "It needs to go all the way in, ma'am." The top fabric wrinkled half an inch over the rim. Printer noise. $79, paid on the spot. Why would anyone push that far for pocket change? Because for them, it's not just about money, it's about metrics. Each catch is logged as performance data. The more you enforce, the more reliable you appear. And reliable agents get better shifts, faster promotions, easier routes. The gate isn't just a threshold, it's a marketplace. Every ticket scanned is data. Every penalty charged is revenue. And you, the traveler, are inventory. Here's the hidden genius. The gate is where you have the least power. You can't go back to repack. You can't appeal the policy. You can't risk missing your flight. The system knows this. It corners you at the precise moment you'll comply without protest. That's behavioral economics in action. But knowledge breaks the cycle. The smart traveler packs not just light, but strategic. Soft edges, dark fabric, bags that look smaller than they are, a duffel that compresses instead of resists. The goal isn't to cheat, it's to become invisible. Because in a system that rewards punishment, invisibility is power. The next time you watch an agent measure someone's bag like they're performing surgery, remember, that's not vigilance, that's commission. The airport may look like order and efficiency, but beneath the surface, it's pure capitalism. Optimized, gamified, and disguised as regulation. And once you see the price tag behind every policy, you'll never hear "your bag is too big" the same way again. Secret 5, the rookie bag check mistake that costs travelers hundreds. It happens so fast you don't even realize you've lost. You're standing by the gate, bag in hand, half distracted by the boarding call. An agent gestures toward the metal sizing bin and asks the deadliest question in aviation. Would you like to check if your bag fits? You think you're being proactive, responsible, helpful. In reality, you just walked into the trap. The moment your bag touches that sizing bin, the power shifts. Now they decide. And once the agent says, "Sorry, it doesn't fit," there's no argument, no appeal. You volunteered the evidence. You can't take it back. Airlines know this. They design for it. The bin is a psychological snare, shiny, visible, right next to the boarding line. It tempts your curiosity. You slide your bag in, just to see. Click. Game over. That tiny overhang at the zipper? That's a $6,100 penalty you can't dispute. You didn't break the rules. You just proved you did. It's the illusion of fairness. They didn't target you, you stepped forward. The same trick used in casinos and online shopping carts. Voluntary engagement. People trust systems more when they believe they chose to participate, and airlines use that trust against you. So how do you beat it? Simple. Don't play. Never offer your bag for inspection unless absolutely required. Keep it close, behind you, out of sight. If you're unsure whether it fits, find a quiet corner or empty gate to test it yourself. Away from authority, away from witnesses. Shift heavier items to your jacket pockets. Wear layers. Every inch matters. Seasoned travelers even use specialized jackets. Vests lined with hidden compartments for chargers, books, even a spare pair of shoes. Not to cheat, but to control what the system wants to control for you. Because once that bag enters their box, it's no longer luggage. It's evidence, and evidence always costs money. Here's the sad brilliance of it all. The airline doesn't need to hunt you down. They just wait for you to reveal yourself. That's the quiet elegance of system design. Let curiosity and guilt do the work. So the next time you see that sizing bin gleaming under fluorescent light, resist the urge. Walk past it. Because in this game, the moment you prove you're following the rules, you've already lost. They didn't find you. You found them. Secret 6. The real reason airlines keep lying about flight delays. You've seen it happen. You're sitting at the gate, phone in hand, eyes fixed on the monitor. The departure time blinks. 7:45. Now 8:10. Then 8:40. Then 9:05. Each delay small enough to seem harmless. Just long enough to keep you waiting. You wonder, why can't they just tell the truth? If the flight's 3 hours late, why not say it up front? Here's why. The lie keeps you calm. The lie keeps you in place. Airlines know that if they announce a 3-hour delay, half the passengers will bolt, lining up at customer service, demanding rebookings, refunds, meal vouchers, chaos. But if they break it into tiny digestible pieces, 30 minutes here, 45 there, you stay seated, you stay quiet, you stay under control. That's not bad communication. That's behavioral management. I learned this from a gate agent years ago. He said, if we told the real time, everyone would riot. We give them hope instead. Hope is cheaper than refunds, and it works. Every time a delay is extended just a little, your brain resets expectation. You think it's not so bad. You scroll your phone, get coffee, glance up every few minutes. You've been conditioned to wait, to stay available, to stay obedient. This happened to my own mother. She was flying cross-country to visit her granddaughter. Nervous, alone, sitting in a neatly pressed business seat she'd saved up for months. The announcement came, just a 30-minute delay, then another, then another. The mechanical issue, they said, would be resolved soon. She didn't leave for food, afraid they'd board the moment she walked away. She waited 6 hours. By the time she arrived, her connection was gone. The system worked perfectly because she never left. She never asked for compensation. She never questioned the process. And that's the design. Rolling delays reduce complaints. They prevent rebookings. They save money. They keep airports calm and passengers contained. Sometimes the manipulation flips. Airlines undelay a flight, fixing an issue early, boarding 30 minutes before the posted time. Those who wandered off miss it. Their fault, not the airlines. A psychological correction for non-compliance. This isn't just about logistics. It's about control through uncertainty. The same technique used by social media algorithms. Small, unpredictable rewards that keep you checking, waiting, hooked. But you don't have to play along. There's a counter move. Track your plane yourself. Apps like Flight Radar 24 or FlightAware show exactly where your aircraft is. Even if the airline doesn't. If it's still in another city, you know the 30-minute delay is fiction. If it hasn't left its previous gate, you can relax, eat, breathe. Because the most dangerous part of a delay isn't time, it's paralysis. The moment you understand what's really happening, the spell breaks. You stop waiting for permission to move. The truth is, airlines don't fear storms or maintenance. They fear awareness. Because awareness is unpredictable. It spreads, it talks, it posts screenshots online. And once enough people start tracking their own flights, asking the right questions, the quiet power balance of air travel begins to shift. Airlines may own the schedules, but they don't own your patience. So the next time you're trapped in that endless waiting room of fake hope, remember, you're not waiting for a plane. You're waiting for honesty. And in 2025, that might be the rarest upgrade of all. Secret 7. How airlines secretly cancel your seat before you even miss your connection. You're sprinting through the terminal, heart pounding, ticket clutched in your hand. The gate is in sight. Still open, still boarding. You made it, or so you think. The agent looks up as you approach, scanning your name. Then comes the sentence no traveler forgets. Sorry, your seat's been given away. Confusion hits first. You didn't miss the flight. The door's open. The plane is right there. But somewhere in the system, a decision has already been made. For you. Welcome to predictive cancellation. It sounds like science fiction, but it's not. Major airlines like American use a software program called Aura. Its job, anticipate who won't make their connection and automatically remove them from the flight. Not after you miss it, before. On paper, it's efficiency. In practice, it's ruthless. Aura scans data in real time. Departure delays, gate distances, average walking speed, even historical passenger behavior. If the math says you probably won't make it, the algorithm frees up your seat for someone else. You're flagged as no-show before you even stop running. And once that seat is reassigned, you're not just unlucky, you're offloaded. Your ticket becomes a statistic. The system moves on. I've seen it happen. A man sprinting, breathless, begging to board while his name still flashes on the screen. The gate agent shakes her head. System's already closed you out. No human override, no mercy. Because in automation, empathy is a bug. The cruelest part? You're charged again, rebooked, rechecked, sometimes even reseated at your own expense. The airline blames missed connection. But the truth is, you were predicted to fail. Contrast that with United's system called Connection Saver, an algorithm that does the opposite. It scans incoming flights, sees who's late, and if possible, delays departure just a few minutes to save connecting passengers. It's proof that technology can be built to help or to harm, depending on what it's optimized for. Aura saves time and money. Connection saver saves people. Different code, different conscience. If this happens to you, don't accept it quietly. Ask a specific question. Was I removed due to predictive cancellation? If the answer is yes, use the phrase involuntary denial of boarding. It's not just words and it's legal armor. Under U.S. Department of Transportation rules, you're entitled to compensation, hotel, meal, sometimes even cash. Because if the system denied you before you missed the flight, that's not your fault. That's algorithmic overreach. But most travelers don't know the language to fight back. And that's exactly how the system wins. Through silence. Predictive automation is the new frontier of control. It's not about mistakes, it's about optimization. A machine that trades empathy for efficiency. A formula that turns humans into probabilities. But here's the irony. Every algorithm still needs a margin of error. A few seconds, a few meters, a few heartbeats. And that's where awareness lives. Because if you understand how the system predicts, you can outpace it. Move fast. Stay calm. Don't give the algorithm what it expects. If it predicts hesitation, sprint. If it predicts chaos, breathe. Your humanity, your unpredictability, is the one thing it can't model. So next time you're running through that terminal, lungs burning, eyes on the gate, remember, you're not racing the clock. You're racing an algorithm that already decided your fate. Beat it once, and you'll never look at boarding clothes the same way again. Secret 8. The hidden flight credit trap after cancellations. When your flight gets canceled, it feels like chaos. Lines form instantly, phones start ringing, passengers crowd the counter, all desperate for answers. But somewhere behind that noise, another process is quietly running. A playbook that looks generous on the surface, but is engineered to keep your money longer than you think. It's called the flight credit trap. When a flight is canceled, most travelers assume their options are simple. Refund or rebook. But the airline knows which one you'll choose. Because when stress hits, you pick the fastest exit, the one that feels easy. And that's the credit. It sounds harmless. We've issued you a travel voucher. It feels fair, like an equal exchange. You don't lose money, you just keep it in the system. Except that's exactly the point. You keep it in their system. Those credits come with invisible strings, expiration dates as short as 12 months, rules that stop you from transferring, splitting, or combining them. Some even deduct service fees when you use them, so you end up paying for part of the same flight twice. And the cruelest twist? If you rebook with a credit and cancel again, many systems reset the original expiration date. Not from the new booking, from the first one. The countdown never stops. The trap resets itself. Airlines call this flexibility. Accountants call it retained revenue. Because every unclaimed credit sits as free capital on the books. Billions just floating. Money already spent but never flown. It's one of the industry's most profitable illusions, turning customer inconvenience into corporate liquidity. The psychology is elegant. When you're angry, you want closure. When the agent offers a voucher for future travel, it feels like a resolution. You nod, take the email, walk away thinking you've won back control. But in that moment, you've just traded real money for potential value. Value that quietly evaporates if you don't use it fast enough. And they're counting on that. You see, the system doesn't need you to lose your voucher intentionally. It just needs you to forget. People change plans. Life moves on. That forgotten email sits buried under months of receipts until the expiry date passes. Gone. It's just like that, your refund becomes revenue. But here's the rule they hope you never remember. Under U.S. Department of Transportation law, if your flight is canceled or significantly delayed, you're entitled to a cash refund. Not a credit, not a voucher. Cash. It doesn't matter if you bought a non-refundable ticket. It doesn't matter if the cancellation was weather-related. If the airline canceled your flight, not you, the refund is yours by right. They won't advertise that. They'll use language like eligible for future travel funds. They'll send links that default to accept credit. They'll smile while the system keeps your balance on their ledger. But if you ask, clearly, calmly, "I'd like a full cash refund, please," the story changes. Suddenly, the form exists. The button appears. The transfer happens. Because the truth isn't hidden. It's just never mentioned. The next time a flight disappears from the board, remember, You don't have to accept the easy option. You don't have to let convenience become a cage. Ask for what's yours in cash, in writing, because that voucher isn't a favor. It's a contract you never needed to sign. And once you understand that, you'll start to see the entire system differently. The rules, the screens, the choices, all designed not to serve you, but to contain you. They don't steal your money. They let you give it away, willingly. That's not hospitality. That's architecture. So now you know, the airport isn't just a building, it's a system, engineered to guide, pressure, and predict you at every step. From the exit row game that rewards confidence, to TSA's invisible gaze that reads nerves instead of intent, from gate agents trained to see profit in every bag, to algorithms that cancel your seat before you ever arrive. Every rule you thought was random follows a quiet, deliberate logic. It's not chaos, it's choreography. A choreography so smooth you barely notice it. A script written to keep you calm, compliant, and paying. But once you see it, something changes. You start noticing the cues, the lighting shift after security, the wording in every announcement, the patterns that decide who gets convenience and who gets delay. You stop reacting. You start reading. And that's the turning point. The moment awareness becomes power. Because once you understand the airport's playbook, you stop being a passenger pushed by the flow. You move differently. You ask differently. You think differently. You become the exception the system can't predict. So the next time you walk through those sliding glass doors, remember, you're not just entering an airport. You're stepping into a machine that measures behavior, monetizes patience, and disguises control as comfort. But this time, you see the gears turning. This time, you walk through it awake. Travel smarter, move freer, stay aware. Because awareness isn't rebellion, it's liberation. If you've made it this far, you already travel differently. You see what most people don't. The quiet systems hidden behind every smile, every gate, every policy. So share this video with someone who always gets hit with baggage fees, who never makes their connection in time, who still thinks delays are just bad luck. Let them know it's not luck, it's design. And that knowledge is the only upgrade that never expires. Subscribe, turn on notifications, and stay with us as we uncover the hidden side of travel, the upgrades, the loopholes, and the truths the airlines hope you'll never figure out. Because this is just the beginning.